And I think we've been seeing that with all of our low shots, all of the debris flying around the racetrack.
Boy, I tell you though, watch that 24 car get up off a turn 2. He gets a good run there. Watch him. He can stick that nose out. Now he's going to follow Kyle this time. But he really is getting a great run off of turn 2. And Kyle just likes the apron. He was high while he goes as high as he can, and he goes as low as he can.
Darryl, we're talking about fast laps. Greg Biffle, our leader in that 16 car, he just ran his fastest lap of the race, as well as Kyle Busch back there in the 3rd spot.
I believe my compadre down in the Hollywood Hotel said to keep an eye on Biffle tonight, and I think he might be right.
He won this race back in 2005.
Gordon clears Busch for 3rd. Gets a little tap there for his trouble.
Hello, my friend.
Nobody said you can't bump draft here.
No, it's not a bad thing.
As long as you're on the straightaway.
As long as you're going straight. Pretty sure that Kyle will fight back and give him all he wants.
Bobby Labonte, 43, right there in the mix with Stewart. And that pack, that's back about 13th place.
When I was watching Kyle, it reminds me of racing Earnhardt. You used to pass Earnhardt, and then he'd wear your back. You'd say, why did I do that?
Yeah.
I liked it better when I was behind him.
Not too many of these Sprint Cup drivers were in that truck race Saturday, Darryl, so maybe Kyle Busch has a little bit of an edge on the field when it comes to track time here.
Good chance.
Greg Biffle, your leader. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Carl Edwards.
The Auto Club 500 on Fox is powered by Q from Quaker Steak. Unleash all your horses.
Yeah.
NASCAR on Fox at our 7th caution out. This race summary brought to you by Q Motor Oil, and it's the Auto Club 500 powered by Q Motor Oil from the Auto Club Speedway, where we've had everything from wrecks to rain to seepage on the track, and so far with 7 different leaders, 13 lead changes, and an average speed. We're at a record slow pace for this race, and because of rain falling, that is what has brought out the caution. Pit road is open. Let's check in with Chris Devoda.
Carl Edwards was going to take 2 tires, but they realized the 55 of Michael Waltrip would be right ahead of them in their pit stall, so taking 2 would not be an advantage because he would be in the way. So they made the call to take 4 instead. Dick.
Greg Biffle pits out of the lead. His car has been so good, he has been whooping and hollering behind the wheel. Matty.
And Gordon's team already with the amber lenses on their goggles for better vision, making a slight track bar adjustment. Gordon says his car way too tight, stuck back in traffic, Steve.
Matt, Jimmy Johnson says his car is just a little lazy on part throttle. He just had a windshield tear off, 4 tires, and fuel for Jimmy Johnson. Let's go back to the hotel.
All right, thank you, Steve, and those on the pit crew. And Jeff Gordon has dominated this race. We have Jimmy Johnson, who has also run well the race off pit road, and we're racing Jeff Hammond and then Larry McReynolds, Darryl, and Mike, their thoughts on this. Really, we're racing against the weather as well.
Yes, we are, Chris. I mean, and nothing really it matters, but it doesn't matter because we're racing to the halfway point. We still got, about 42 laps to go before it is official. So track position is going to be important, but this could be, the determining factor. How you come off here could set you up for that one more, run to the halfway point, which could be the end of the race. You just never know.
Let's take another look on pit road and take a look, Jeff, at how tight things are here.
Yeah,
Jeff
everybody
Gordon.
right now racing off of pit road. And let's see Jeff Gordon come out. Here comes the 18. The 70 car. Now, he's had trouble earlier. There comes Clint Boyer on the inside, the 07 car. I mean, look how close everything is. And everybody realizes this is when you got to make it happen. I mean, everything is so tight.
Looks
you
like
see the rush hour traffic in L.A. What are you talking about?
That's right, on the 101 or the 405 out here.
Martin Truex Jr. just about got in the 9 car of Casey Kane off of there. So, again, the race off of pit road, it's very important. We've been talking about it all night long, track position. So the fact that Jimmy Johnson was able to win the race off of pit road, big plus for him when they dropped the green flag a little bit later on when they get the track under condition.
Well, as we talk about the competition, Kyle Busch looks like he's trying to make some moves here, but it looks like Jeff Gordon clearly has the best car.
He does at this point in time, but we saw this a week ago in Daytona that not necessarily the fastest car is going to win this race. So, you know, Jeff looks really strong right now, but if Kyle can get to him, if the 99 has a chance to get up there, I mean, anything can happen. We still got a long ways to go, and a lot of track changes are going to occur before the end of this race.
Yeah, and Larry, Darrell, a lot of uncertainty, too, both in the eyes of the driver and the crew chief, considering the weather and how that might affect things.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing now, Jeff talked about them racing to the halfway. With that pit stop right there, they can get to the halfway point. Remember, you can run about 40 to 44 laps on fuel, and that's right there in the window that we're at.
Fellas, the light's out on the pace car.
We're coming
ready to
racing.
go
We're
green.
going racing.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
It's interesting to see Dario Franchitti sitting out there, but we see rain coming down there.
Maybe we
I'm
won't
not
go
too sure
racing.
about that.
No, they waved it off.
Nah, maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah, Dario Franchitti in the 40 car actually stayed out. They did not even pit.
And you know what? I was saying to myself, if it's going to rain and I'm way back in the field, I'm just going to stay out because they might stop the race. I'm leading the race. I get on TV. Might mention my sponsor. You know, you got to think about those things.
Front page of the sports section tomorrow.
Yeah, if it happened to rain the thing out in the morning, what would it say? Dario
Franchitti
leads. What am I thinking?
It's not going to happen now.
I know the screenwriters have been on strike, Darrell. Are you auditioning?
Okay.
Dario's going to make his pit stop.
Now the headlines will read Dario Franchitti leads 1 lap.
But that's okay. Hey, fellas, we're going to try one to go again.
This is the most elusive rain I think I've ever seen. 1 minute it's coming down, and the next minute we're going green again.
You call it elusive. I call it aggravating.
I know one thing. It's wet. And that looks like, where is that? That is here at the track, right?
You know, a little bit ago, Steve Burns said, let's go back to the hotel. I was ready to get my car keys.
Golly,
I didn't
no
realize
kidding.
he meant the Hollywood Hotel.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Now that 28 car right there behind Jimmy Johnson, Travis Quapple, I certainly get the feel that Todd Parrott, the crew chief, elected to try 2 tires on that 28 car.
You know, you've known Todd. You've worked with him. He's a gambler.
He will go outside of the box.
That's
There
right.
is no question.
If you're racing to halfway and you're way back there, this is great track position.
This car is racing to try to get a sponsor,
That's
too.
right. And we'll all be thrilled just to get to halfway. Meanwhile, the nationwide cars, as we've waved off the restart again, they're all waiting. ESPN2 is waiting to carry their race, which is supposed to follow this one by an hour. So it could be a long evening here in Fontana.
Now, this is really aggravating to the driver. When you come around and get one to go, no, we're not going. Yeah, come around and one to go, no, we're not going.
All right, Darrell, we're going to commercial, but we'll be right back with more of NASCAR on
And we're not
Fox.
kidding. We're really going.
The Auto Club 500 on Fox, powered by Q Motor Oil, is sponsored by DirecTV. NASCAR Hot Pass only on DirecTV puts you behind the wheel. By Hanes. Look who we've got our Hanes on now. By non-drowsy Claritin allergy products. And by Sprint. Welcome to the 2008 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Speed is beautiful.
This is the 7th caution flag of the night, the second one of the night and afternoon for rain, and it comes with Jimmy Johnson leading at 87 laps. They have pulled the cars down pit road. They're going to halt them under the red flag because, as they say around the track, we have lost the racetrack. It hasn't gone anywhere, but the surface of the track is not dry enough to keep the cars out there, so the jet dryers have quickly been dispatched out around the racetrack. But Darrell, looking at that rain come down, this looks a little futile for right now.
It really does, and of course it takes a long time, and it's damp, cold, take a long time to dry this thing off. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been under caution for 3 days.
Several drivers fighting the flu, and crewmen and 3 of our pit reporters doing yeoman's work under adverse weather conditions. And just a long day for everyone.
And it's hard for a driver, it's hard for a team to get into a flow. You can't have any strategy. You don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, this has been a real nightmare for these guys.
So we're under the second red flag condition of the day when we came on there at, what, 12:30?
That is exactly right.
Here we are. With 87 laps to complete, we need about another 40 laps to get to halfway so this race could be called official. and it's going to take a while.
And it was just pointed out to us that we have 12 drivers that are attempting to do the double duty, and one broadcaster. Dale Jarrett will leave the race car at the end of this race and go to the broadcast booth.
I started my day in the Hollywood Hotel, and boys, I'll see y'all later. I'm going to the Hollywood Hotel.
Chris and Jeff.
All right, guys, and well, things have been so busy, I've been able to enjoy the jacuzzi here at the Hollywood Hotel today. Keeping an eye on racing. I don't know what that means.
Are you been hiding something on me? I have not seen this jacuzzi.
All right, so we have another caution. The record for cautions at this racetrack in this race is 11. We've had 7 so far, but a lot of that because of the weather.
Mother Nature.
So Mother Nature's controlling things, right? The story has been the track and the weather. We'd like it to be more about the drivers. So if you have a minute, let's talk about some of the drivers and go back. What about Ryan Newman, our Daytona 500 champ, who was hanging around for most of the race, currently running 10th?
Well, the thing is right now that kind of jumps into my mind is he just about got took out in that second accident that involved the 5-car of Casey Mears and Dale Earnhardt Jr. He just about was a part of it, which would have really, kind of ruined that storybook finish from last week and kind of trying to continue it here in California. I'm sure he would love to be able to get out of here with a top 5 finish and be able to maintain, either that point lead or, get another win to be able to add to, like I said, Roger Penske's win column.
And Kurt Busch, his teammate, currently 13th. Martin Truex Jr. is currently 7th in his DEI Chevrolet, and let's check in with him.
All right, thank you, Chris. With Martin Truex Jr., we just interrupted his extravagant dinner, a ham sandwich. But, Martin, you guys quietly putting together a really good night. You've been inside the top 10 between the raindrops and the cautions.
Yeah, it's been going good. Bono's doing an awesome job in the box, like he did last year. Our communication's really good, and we've just been fine-tuning our car. It seems like the longer the race goes, the more rubber that gets in the track, we get better compared to our competition. So our car just steadily kept getting better and improving as the track got rubbered in, and this is probably going to hurt us a little, but I'm pretty excited about how it's been. It's went well.
That's a fancy dinner you've got there, Martin.
Yeah, this is like the dinner of champions. Ham and cheese and Pringles.
Love it.
I eat it about every weekend before the race, too, so it seems to be working okay.
All right, get back to your dinner.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Steve. And Martin, currently Jimmy Johnson, our leader. Jeff Gordon has led the most laps so far, 57. Let's take a quick recap before we talk about Jimmy and Jeff Gordon, just in case you tuned in a little bit later and you were wondering about the race. On board, the FedEx car of Denny Hamlin. He hit a damp spot on the track from seepage coming up out of the track, the water underneath, causing him to wreck. And a similar cause of things for Casey Mears, who we isolated there in the 5-car. And you'll see Dale Earnhardt Jr. in his 88, amped up there, hits the wall, took him out. He was able to return later in the race. Sam Hornish Jr., the rookie, in the 77 will come in and barrel underneath. And the flames fly. Reed Sorensen involved, but the drivers were all okay. Nobody was injured. Red flag came out. We had more than an hour of a delay. They tried to cut into the track to help with that seepage. Once the drivers checked it out, said it was okay, we got back to racing, but then lap 86 a few moments ago, the rain coming down, and that's where we are. So through all this, the drivers have been making adjustments. They've been patient. And you said at the start of the broadcast when Darrell was down here with us in the Hollywood Hotel, Jeff, that certainly Chad Knaus, one of the crew chiefs with Jimmy Johnson, the best at making adjustments and rolling with things. And that's what he's having to do now. And right now his drivers in the lead, although officially this race, not official until we get to the halfway point.
Got to get to the halfway point. But, yeah, Chad Knaus in that 48 bunch, they won the championship last year. I think they'll continue to try to work that magic, at least early on here, making adjustments to that 48 car. And on top of that, we really haven't touched on it, but that pit crew, they made a lot of changes on it, even though they won the championship, and now it's starting to kind of show they're beating everybody off pit